Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Annette. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to have some fun today. We're going to make a fun fold card for Mother's Day. And I'm going to show you how to do this. It's really not that hard. I'm going to put all of the card measurements in the description. I will go ahead and tell you the measurements as we go along, but they will all be typed out in the description. And if you're a card maker or just want to try something new, I hope you give this a try. So all you'll need to start off is some kind of a paper trimmer. You can do it with scissors, but paper trimmers make it much easier. And this is a sheet of, this is just a 65-pound weight cardstock, 8.5 by 11. Okay, it's 8.5 inches by 11 inches. And we're just going to cut this in half on the 11-inch side. So we will cut it in half at 5.5 inches. So that's the first thing you want to do. All right, so you have two pieces like that, but we only need one of these. So we're done with the paper trimmer. Then if you have a scoring tool, a scoring board, this will come in very handy too. And this is just a very small investment. These do not cost much, and you can get them at any craft store. Mine, I believe I got at Hobby Lobby, and it's just a multi-purpose scoring board. And so you have your half sheet of cardstock, and we're going to turn it over. And this is the 8.5 inch side. So we want to score this in half. So we have 8.5 inches. Half of that is 4.25. So we will just, let me go ahead and zoom in so you can see a little bit better. We will just go to the 4.25 mark, which is right here, and just drop a score line. And then, so this is 4.25, so then we want to score it again at half of that. So that's going to be 2 1/8. So here's the 2 inch, here's 2 1/4, but we need half of that. So we just drop it down to that line in the middle. That's 2 1/8. Make sure your card is all the way over, and we will drop the score line here. All right, and that's all the scoring we're going to do. Let me get rid of my scoring board. And then we're just going to fold this card. Let's see, I always got to stop and think. We want to fold it this way, and then we're going to fold it back on itself. So you end up with a Z fold, okay? So all I did was fold it in half, and then I folded that side back over itself. And I'll use the scoring tool to just crease down that fold. All right, so that is going to be our card. Okay, we are not going to we're not going to glue this down to a base at all. All right, so let me zoom back out a little bit. Now the other pieces I've pre-cut, and that's when I'll tell you what the measurements are, but again, they will be in the description. So I have three pieces here. Two of them are identical. So these two measure 1 7/8 inch, 1 7/8 of an inch by 5.25. So you want two pieces that size and one piece that's 5.25 inch by 1.5 inch. Let me start with this one piece. What we're going to do with this is we're going to put an insert in this card. This insert measures 4 inches by 5.25. And we're going to glue this on one side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And I hope you're following along. This really is not a difficult process, but it's just getting the measurements. But once, you know, I have them written down. So once you get the measurements, and I've written them down for you in the description, you know, you can just cut your paper and piece it all together. All right, so that is on one side, and this is going to be the insert. This is going to be the inside of the card. So when they open it, it will be like that. So it's kind of a nice little surprise. So we want to glue this down. We want to center it onto that inside card. So just get some glue down. And it does not have to be exact, but just, you know, eyeball it so that there's some even margin all the way around. And remember, you're only taking it to that crease line there, or just a little bit inside that. All right. So that's that. And then these two will get glued on these two panels. So we'll have one on the outside and then one on the inside. And actually, I didn't even realize this, but since these two are pretty much the same color, I am going to put the blue in the middle. So I'll glue this one on the outside. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right. So glue that here. And again, I'm just on that outside piece, just kind of looking at the margins and making sure there's even space around. And we'll do the same for the middle. And I'm also going to make sure I'm lined up at the top. That way it doesn't look all crooked. So we'll just make sure those are lined up. I think I need to bring that over a little bit. Okay. This edge does not have glue on it, and I want to glue that down a little better. Okay. Wipe away any excess glue, and right now that's what we have. Okay. You see how fast this is coming together? Then for the outside, I went ahead and did this ahead of time too. So this is kind of fun. So I took 2 pieces of cardstock. This piece measures 3 1/4 inch by 4 inch, and the matte layer is 3 1/2 inch by 4 1/4. So whenever you have a matte layer, whatever your panel is, no matter what shape it is, just cut your matte layer 1/4 inch more than the measurements of the panel. So, you know, this, like I said, is 3 1/4 inch. So this side is 3 1/2 inch. So just go up 1/4 for the matte layer. And that way when you center it, it has even margins all the way around. All right, so that's my little tip for you. Oh, and I took this. This is a fun embossing folder, and it is from Park Lane, and right here it is. I've had this for quite some time. The folder is called Floral, and it's from Park Lane, and I believe I picked this up from Michael's many moons ago, but I believe I saw it there recently, so I think they still have that in stock. So I ran this little piece through that embossing folder just to give it some texture, and it kind of goes with the pattern paper that I have kind of nicely. That's not planned, but that worked out. And then I'm just going to center it onto the matte layer. All right. And then I just went to my stash actually and got these 2 pieces. I found this sweet little bird that I stamped and die cut, colored with a marker some time ago, probably a year ago, and it's been sitting in my stash. But this stamp set is called Vintage Summer, I believe, from Gina K Designs. It has the bird and a butterfly, a bicycle, and a balloon, I believe. And it's one of my favorite sets. So I get a lot of use out of this stamp set. So I'm going to use this bird, and I just found this stitched circle. This was already cut and in my craft bin. I don't know. Sometimes if I'm not making a card, I'll just cut out circles and shapes and just keep them. They're nice to use as grounding elements, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I did this on white cardstock, and I remember I just took a blending brush. I took my purple blending brush, and whatever was on here, I just kind of softly went around the edges, so it gave like a little bit of a hue of purple with a kind of a glow in the middle. And I'm just going to use it today. I'm going to use it as a grounding piece. So this is going to get glued to the front. But before I do that, I do want to get my bird and all that on here. So go ahead and glue that. And put that right into the center. Just kind of eyeballing it. And then I'll glue this bird down right onto the circle. You can pop it up if you want with some foam squares. I'm just gluing it. See how easy these cards are? And I do love that his tail is coming off of the grounding element. I like when things kind of extend out, oops, of the grounding element. Let's give that another try. I must have glue on my hands because that thing just really stuck to me. There we go. Okay. Now, when you're gluing this down, you want to make sure you just glue it on the one side. Okay, we don't want any glue over here or we're going to glue the card shut. So just kind of decide where you want it. And you can take it all the way to the edge if you want or bring it in. I think I might line it up with the edge of that insert. So I really just want this side glued. So I'm going to just pick it up and kind of where my finger is, that's the side I want to glue. So I'm just going to make sure the glue doesn't go beyond that. And then just be careful when you set it down. I just kind of lay it like that. I give myself a little bit of leeway, and then I just make sure that that is where I'm positioning it. And then you can position your piece from there. And if you're really not sure, just open it right away and just make sure there's no glue on that side, and you're good to go. All right, so there you go. This is super, super easy. You know, it's just figuring out your measurements. You can translate this to a 5x7 card. Again, whatever size your panel is, make your mat a 1/4 inch larger on each side. And, you know, like I said, this is a US A2 size card, but you can easily make this into a 5x7. But this will be a very lovely Mother's Day card. And won't she be surprised when she opens that up? And you can write your greeting over here. And it's kind of hard to see, but it will stand up quite nicely. And it will look like that when it's opened. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel. I put a video up every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and I do random live videos on Saturday. So I hope you do subscribe so you get that notification when I do post a video. And until next time, make it a great week.